Hello everyone, welcome back to Silver Tears Tarot. Today we're going to get into the topic of soulmate energy that's headed your way. So in some cases, some of you have already come in contact with a new soulmate. Some of you have seen someone come back from the past. For some of you, it's the person that you've been getting readings about, but for many of you, it's someone different. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take a look into that energy and just kind of see what there is to see what we need to know and understand how you should be handling how you should be handling it. You know, what you should be doing as far as a reaction. So, as usual, it's going to be a general reading for this collective, so it's not going to resonate with everybody, and of course, it really shouldn't. But if it does resonate with you, then by all means, feel free to take a look at some of the other messages that have come through in the past, and then also think about maybe subscribing. So we're going to start out by getting just that energy that's in the background right now. So this is going to include the energy that's happening between you and your soulmate, but it's going to be really just that backdrop. Energetic and emotional backdrop is our focus for this question. So this is kind of the energy that you're swimming around in. I mean, it's important to see this because it gives you a little bit of context for the rest of the reading as it comes out. So when we say, you know, we've got a soulmate that's heading in your direction, or you're looking at the energy of what's heading your direction, you also know that with, for example, with this Seven of Water, you're going to have several roads presented to you under this energy. Several roads presented to you, or several things become evident as far as them being opportunities. So they may have been roads that were out in front of you before, but you might not have recognized them for the opportunities that they were. Maybe let's get one more. Eight of Earth. Yet there's this feeling of not being ready to jump in and take care of it because of some sort of perceived emotional inadequacy on, I think this is on your part, although I feel like it's shared energy between you and your person. So it's got that little bit of an intimidated sort of feeling to it, where not necessarily a person who is easily intimidated either, more just a situation that for whatever reason it just doesn't feel like you want to be in that situation. It's kind of a you see the options that are out there ahead of you, and for whatever reason, none of them really seem to ring true, or seem like there's not a clear direction that you should be going. Not anything that you feel really confident about. So it's an energy of feeling like you need to move somewhere, rather than, you know, okay, I'm just going to sit this one out because I'm not sure of where to go. Feels a little too stagnant. Feels like you want to move things, stir things up. Feels like you don't want to stay where you are, but you don't have much of a choice. Kind of, you're being held into this. So we get that lesson that I haven't seen this one come out for us very much for a little while here, but we've seen it a lot across the course of this channel. And it's really about, it's about getting comfortable in an uncomfortable setting where things are kind of, this is the universe holding you in one place and saying, I'm going to need you to experience this right now. And you saying, I'd really rather, this feels stagnant and I got to get out of here. You know, there is a sense of something coming from this. There is something positive that comes from this. So the universe kind of puts you in a position where you have to sit in an uncomfortable place. But with the Ten of Acorns here, you're going to figure out something. You're going to figure out a little bit more about what's your responsibility and what isn't, which is, I think, very important, especially in light of like yesterday's reading where we looked at you walking away, whether you were going to walk away from your divine masculine or not. So you've got your Page of Feathers here. Page of Feathers in the reverse is the kind of fear that makes you want to turn tail and run. So if you're experiencing it in this situation, this is, it's really in the backdrop of the energy. So you may not be the only one experiencing it. I would say that it's a strong energetic and emotional backdrop right now. You're going to see, here's that Two of Shells. You're going to see a need to have your own space and to have kind of your own secrets, or just a little bit of a need for privacy, I guess. And yet also a desire to partner, an ability to partner, a tendency to, there's something pulling you into a union situation right now. So we know there's kind of like this soulmate magnetic energy going on right now, but it's also, it's coming in the middle of a lot of other things. So we see there's other opportunities that are going on. None of them look especially like you want to go down those paths, but it really does feel like it's because of that perceived inadequacy. It doesn't even seem like it's real to you, or to your person. Again, this feels like pretty shared energy. So what I'm saying here, I feel like they're experiencing it as well. Might be coming out a little bit differently. The way that I'm talking about it, though, I think is more geared toward the way it would be feeling for you. But all of it is very shared. Okay, so we've got the Six of Shells here. This is trying to get a hold of yourself, trying to, this starts to feel more like your person, that trying to get a hold of themselves, although I could see both of you doing it. There is too much overthinking, too much, so it's nostalgia that turns into overthinking, memories that turn into overthinking, essentially. And so there's a desire to calm that. It's not so much, I don't want to think about this. It's just, I want to calm this down so that it doesn't feel so overwhelming. Because there's definitely a feeling like there's no good ability to back up and just take stock of the overall situation. The logic circuits are overloading. You know, there's something that's going on here. When you look at the big picture, and it's not even necessarily one thing that's happening, it's just kind of everything coming together, which is really kind of what the Seven of Water feels like. It feels like there are a lot of different options. None of them look great, and then there's a lack of confidence to go down any of these roads. Part of it feels like I would just step back and, you know, take a look at the overall situation and see what it is that I need to be doing, but I can't even seem to get a good beat on that. You know, it's a, not disorientation, but it's got, I wouldn't say it's disoriented. I would just say there's a little bit of disorientation in that. Okay, so what order did these want to go? They want to go this way. All right, so we've got the Page of Crystals. Page of Crystals coming out says that one of the reasons that you're kind of being stuck in this situation is that there's a lesson that needs to be learned that has not yet been learned. It is about you and finding your happiness and knowing when you find it. So I feel like you're in a better place here than you were before with this, with the Nine of Shells, or so that's like the Nine of Cups. It's the pursuit of happiness, but it's actually being in that happiness. The Nine of Shells is the feeling of having what it is that makes you feel, it's wish fulfillment. You know, it's got this sense of wish fulfillment, and it's gratitude, knowing that you're in that moment where you have what you need, you know. But what we have in this situation is a recognition that things aren't right, but not really a path to get to the right place. Again, all of these options look a little bit unsavory. They're not even that bad. Like they just look like not right now, but I need to do something, you know. So there's some pressure to have to do something, but not necessarily clarity around what that is. So we're going to get you a little bit of clarity around that, because part of this is, it reminds me of like plate tectonics. So the shift of plates on the planet against one another creates earthquakes, creates a tumultuous kind of situation. So I half expect to feel the tower come out, but I feel like it's in there, but it may not be right away. This is the building pressure. We have seen a lot of pressure. We've seen a lot of reasons that your person is acting in a way that might be a little bit on the frustrating side, a lot of pressure in there. This is a different type of pressure, and this is really kind of more, I feel like I need to move on from this. Like we talked about yesterday, I feel like I need to move on from this, but I don't feel like I'm quite in a place where I know how to do that. And this is really about, similar to the outcome of yesterday's reading, that it's not so much about moving away from the energy of this situation as it is moving toward the energy of something else. And here it's continuation of that, because it's that I can't be where I am right now. I can no longer continue doing what I'm doing. And yet it's not clear to me which way to go, and none of these options seems like the right thing. There is a new perspective emerging for you right now, though, which I think is going to be beneficial. I think that's going to be beneficial. But it's going to require getting over some additional hurdles because there are some things that are out of balance that are not right. We also have the Six of Crystals here, crystals being earth energy. This is places where you're not being treated properly, or there's even an edge of, bear with me here. This is like, I don't want to, it's not too far off in the past. It's not ancient. But it's history of not having been treated the way that you're supposed to have been treated. That seems like it's coming back out. Something that you think you solved, and then you have some experience that gives you an indication that you've not yet solved it. So you're going, this is energy that is moving you toward a transformation. This would be the equivalent of the death card in the traditional tarot, because something ends in order for something new to rise in its place. But the significance is actually the shift. It's the transformation. So the thing is, you have undergone some transformations here recently that are going to enable this to be a little bit smoother of a shift for you, because you already kind of know how to do that. But be aware, that's the energy that you're moving into here. So if it seems like you've done some learning and you've been benefiting from that, trying to figure out how to kind of move around in this new information, you've got some more coming. It doesn't look super comfortable, but I feel like this is probably the most uncomfortable part, where you're being pushed to do something, but it's completely unclear as to which direction you should go, because none of them quite looks right, and you don't quite have the confidence built up right now. It's almost a sense of, look, I'm just tired. Can we just not, can we dispense with extras, It's got a little bit of that kind of feeling to it. Make sure we have enough room, because that's the emotional backdrop, which I think is important to know as we go into what's happening with this soulmate energy coming towards you. Because they're connecting with you, and they're going to be running across you, and you're going to be in this space of not quite being sure which direction to go, and not necessarily having all that confidence in place. I feel like their response to it is pretty different from what you would expect. But let's see what you can expect here. It's really, what can you expect, and then what should you be doing about it? Okay, we got there goes that Tower card. But it's coming out in the reverse. Why is it coming out in the reverse? Why the resistance? That's resistance to that tectonic shift. And I mean, you can't really resist an earthquake, but that's kind of what it feels like. And then we've got the Page of Water in reverse. Some kind of communication becomes very difficult, or you just haven't got the opportunity. Yeah, it's out of your hands. There's something that is becomes difficult about communication. It becomes difficult not to make a communication. There's something that is almost on hold here. Something is put on hold because of an inability to move it forward. What is this? What is this all about? This is something, this feels like past energy. It does not feel like new energy. I thought for sure there would be more or less definitive. I don't know. Let's see we'll get in there and see what else wants to happen. So, okay, we've got the World. Well, this is fairly definitive, definitively not new energy. So this is the World card, and I'm sorry for the folks of you who are definitely looking for new energy. There is something that is coming back, okay? And maybe it just has, and maybe it already has, but or maybe it's more than one, because you definitely have multiple options that arise over here, and it almost seems like Mercury in retrograde kind of levels of people coming back. But we also have this eclipse cycle closing, and the energy is, when I say kind of soulmate magnetism, I mean it's all soulmate magnetism. There's something here that's unfinished, and yet as this person comes to finish, person or more than one person comes to finish it, they're still not quite ready to do whatever it is that they need to do. But they are a lot more thoughtful, with the Queen of Acorns in the reverse here, a lot more thoughtful about the way that they're doing it. So the Queen of Acorns is fire energy, and sometimes it just rolls roughshod over whatever is in the path. And so this is not that. This is the opposite of running roughshod over whatever's in your path. It is not doing things any which way. It's doing things in a more conscientious way. So we've got the Four of Acorns, building actual stability. This is a happy new beginning that builds actual stability. Okay, so here is, now I can't promise what kind of stability or what kind of relationship it is, but it looks like this is something whose time has finally come. Time for what? I'm not entirely sure based on the energy that I'm seeing here with the resistance. It's like they're skidding in, you know. They come your direction and can't stop in time to definitely make contact. It's that sort of thing. And they're like, they were going to think again. They were going to have second thoughts and they were going to back off and they accidentally hit send. It's that kind of energy. You know, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying, you know, it's kind of the energy that it has. But you recover quickly with the Three of Crystals, earth energy. It's like the Three of Pentacles. This is the energy of a quick recovery. So here's somebody that comes skidding in and still with the self-destructive behavior though. I wonder if this is something that you're going to be able to manage though, because it feels like there's this sense of my hands are tied, and that's why you see some of this self-destructive behavior relative to something else that's going on in their lives. So that could be that third party energy. I'd be curious to understand what that's about. So if that doesn't come out, like what's tying their hands. If we don't get that here, then we'll look at that when we get into the extended, which if you guys have gone to the extended here recently, you'll notice it looks a little bit different because I had to start a new Vimeo set because I had requests for monthly memberships, which now exist. You can now get a monthly membership, and if you're one of those people that buys them very frequently, you could see a very deep savings. If you buy them every day, you would see a greater than 50% savings. So obviously everybody doesn't do that, but you have at least the option. Anyway, it looks different now. So if you get in there and it looks a little bit different, it's not just you, it's actually an update or a different page. All the old videos are still available at their old links, so nothing's new there, but you can't get to them through the membership. You get to only the ones going forward from when I started this set, because that was the only thing that was possible when I said it. So I don't know. I got off into that because I was talking about what's going to go into the extended. I would like to understand kind of what's tying this soulmate's hands, because I don't know which one it is yet. Don't know if we know that it's definitively from the past. It's unresolved issues from the past. How far in the past, we don't know. How many of them, we don't know. We do know it seems like their hands are tied and there's still this element of self-destructive behavior. So that's something we're going to look into if it doesn't come out here. So we've got the Nine of Acorns. There's a lot of resistance to, and we see that with the Tower too, but there's a lot of resistance to whatever it is that they feel like they need to resolve. Here's something unresolved. I'm coming to you to address something that's unresolved, and it's wrapped in the package of a relationship. But it's not, there's still a lot of resistance here. So you're running into somebody who, like couldn't bail out before you got there. Like they saw you coming, but not quickly enough. It's got that kind of energy, which implies that they wanted to run, that they would want to run. And I feel like that energy, like we see it over here. It's that, where is it? It was a page of feathers, but it's in reverse. That's that desire to turn tail and run. It's in the energy. It's not just, like, it may happen to you, but it's not just you. It would also be impacting this person, whether this is your divine masculine that you've been getting the readings about, or someone else, or multiple someones. So we've got the Four of Crystals here in the reverse. Four of Crystals is, again, earth energy, so it's like the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. This is growth. It's growth, but it is growth particularly in the area of letting go. Being able to let go of control of something, though, because it's not letting go of something. It actually ends up gaining something, but still doesn't help me understand why their hands are tied. However, there is some element here of when they come your direction, they're resistant to do so, but they've got something they need to resolve. And it actually, like I said earlier, you recover very quickly. There's a lot of overthinking that's associated with it, but I feel like the communication is also there. So you're able to talk about that if that is the direction that you tend to go. Now, it is possible that this is a person who is completely unable to articulate this. I'm not necessarily seeing that. I just understand that it's possible. It's in the energy, but not everyone is going to be there. You're going to see some people who are quite articulate and charismatic. I'm having trouble saying the word articulate, which I think is kind of funny. But we're gonna we're gonna see that articulate and charismatic person come out in light of kind of this energy. Some people, they're really going to shine in it, and other people not so much. So you've got the Five of Acorns also that's coming out here in the reverse. Five of Acorns is all about not wanting to have a struggle, not wanting to, they don't want to go against something. They don't want to go against something, and I feel like it is associated with what is tying their hands. They're looking to maintain a stability. Okay, so we've got the Knight of Crystals that fell face up on the floor and the Hermit. So they're not facing something. And we see that with the Tower card here. That's not the same sort of resistance as we see with the Nine of Acorns. Nine of Acorns is, hey, you're forcing me to face something and I'd really rather not. Tower card, that sort of, what I'm feeling with that is I absolutely just want to repress this and not think about it. With the Hermit, we've got more of that desire to repress it and not think about it. With the Knight of Crystals, you have more of a stop, start, stop, start, stop, start sort of approach to it. But then you've also got this Knight of Feathers here in the reverse, which feels like more stop than start. So you may have a rocky beginning to this communication with this person as they get things going. I feel like that's the beginning of it. That's the more immediate energy, that it's halting, that there's them skidding in and not really meaning to, wish they hadn't been spotted. But again, they recover quickly. And I feel like it goes in a better direction, which maybe I'll look into that for you a little bit in the extended too. I still don't understand what's tying their hands. So maybe where this goes after you begin the recovery, like is there future beyond that recovery, or does it become very short-lived? You resolve something and you move on? Is it like that? Or what is tying their hands though? What happens? What's tying their hands? And then we'll see where it goes from there. First though, let's see what it is that you need to be doing on your side. So how should you be reacting to this? So if you've got somebody coming in, could be that divine masculine soulmate you've been getting readings about, could be somebody different from your past, could be multiple someones from your past. I get this impression there's going to be, I get this impression that there's going to be somebody here you probably hadn't even considered, somebody from your past that's deep enough in your past that you weren't thinking about them anymore, but you still had something unresolved and they are in a place in their life where it's time for them to do that, So we've got the Fool card in reverse. Fool card in reverse is telling you not to jump into something. King of Air is saying you don't know it all. There's something here that you don't know. You don't know all of it, like you don't know the whole story. There's something in this story that requires, as this person comes to you, that you would want to understand before you would move forward. Not saying in this that I don't get you can't move forward. I get don't jump. Figure it out first. Not necessarily don't ever move that way. Just stop and make sure that you understand what's happening before you head into this direction. King of Acorns. There's something here that is undesirable and you are going to become aware of it, but you've got to give it a minute, give it a beat, because simply jumping in would enable you to, or would endanger you. We also have the Knight of Acorns in the reverse. There's something here that, okay, this is more than just a circumstance that you wouldn't like. This is something, I get that, like there was some kind of conversation or some sort of situation that occurred. This person was involved in it. You want to be aware of this before you get too close, because you might be very, you might find yourself with some things you feel like you need to resolve or forgive. I feel like you're going to be frustrated with maybe something here. Now, I'm not saying you don't get to the forgiveness, because I still have that sense of, hold on, yeah, this might still work. So we've got renewal. There is something about all of this that is going to unearth new information for you. Now, you have to not jump when you receive whatever communication this is. Let things start to kind of develop and turn into a picture. But this is a feeling of renewal and reconciliation. So it could be reconciliation within the self, but I feel like you've been working on a lot of reconciliation within the self, and this very specifically feels like an almost reluctant reconciliation with somebody coming from your past. This is fascinating. I don't think this rules out that there's a new soulmate coming in some people's direction. I just think maybe this is other energy that, we asked about it. We asked about it. What is this? It's very specifically, some people have already come in contact with people in their past, and they're like, is this it? And I have to tell you, I don't know if that's the only one. I mean, I think there could be more going on. You definitely get thrust into a situation where you get triggered and you have to deal with that. I think it's around what we saw with this Six of Crystals that we see in this energy. So it's a bad time for you to run across whatever reminder of what didn't treat you right, because of the way that you're kind of feeling a little bit down anyway on yourself and not sure like which of these directions to go. But it does say, it gives you an opportunity to say, all right, I'm going to get calm and I'm going to take some time to actively think about this. Is there something I need to think about? Is there something I need to grieve? Is there something I need to uncover? And it uncovers a whole tower moment for you, but I don't think this is bad. Honestly, like I was saying earlier, I think the most uncomfortable part is probably the part you're experiencing right now. There is going to be a situation that looks a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm not convinced you're the one that's super uncomfortable. I think maybe you're at this point just kind of like, well, riding with it. So you've got the Three of Shells here. I feel like you run into some sort of third party energy surrounding this. So it could be like, we know there could be multiple people, just, but there's, again, with this situation, it's as many people as there are in this collective. Everyone has people from their past who may not have things resolved and may need to say, I need to have a conversation. And if you show up and they've got their spouse there, or a picture of them, I don't know, it feels like it's not confrontational, but it feels like it's there. Very interesting, because we also, one of the questions that I had gotten about the third party with regard to some of these soulmates is like, are they dangerous? Should I be worrying about things? Here's a very harmless sort of, this is a harmless but there sort of energy. It's there, but it's not, doesn't wish you harm. Ace of Feathers in the reverse. Okay, so with this tower comes some truths that are difficult to accommodate. Give yourself a little bit of time. This reminds me of, now some of you, I've been out here on YouTube since, I guess it's been a little bit over a year. So it was September of 2022. And it was right about January of this year, January of 2023, we started seeing the Ace of Feathers energy. So that's the same thing as like the Ace of Swords. Coming out in the reverse saying, hey, there's new information, or it's not necessarily new, but it's something that is being, like, it has to be integrated into your person's worldview, and they're having a hard time doing it. So this is like, now it's your turn. There's something here that you learn associated with this situation. So it's like the perfect storm of not feeling super great about, or not feeling super comfortable about something. And we see you uncomfortable. We see you feeling like you need to leave. We see you feeling like there's a little bit of like a lack of confidence there, but also a recognition, hey, I was not treated right in this situation. That puts you in a place where you're able to really think it through, and you're able to reflect and get somewhere. But it doesn't necessarily mean that those truths that you gather are easy to accommodate. So just, keep that in mind. Take it slowly. Recognizing the truths is actually the first thing that you need to do. Now you end up with your hands tied too. This feels like Lovers in reverse kind of energy, and it's interesting because it also feels a little Lovers in the upright. This is about a choice that you're not, you're having to put it off. I'm not saying you're not going to be able to make the choice. Just that basically you're being asked to put this off for some reason. And you're ready to go. There is no put this off in you. You don't even have the ability to. This is like someone who's decided to, they've had long hair all their lives and they've decided to cut it off, and now they're just ready. Like, they're ready. There's no wanting to wait 2 weeks and think it through or any of that. They're just ready to do it. That's the energy of this eight of acorns. It's fire energy, and it's saying, I think I'm ready to move forward despite the fact that I haven't, and this may be true, that despite the fact that I haven't completely assimilated this truth, into my life, and despite the fact that I feel like my hands are a little bit tied. So it could be very much that you're ready to go forward with your transformation or with this transformation energy. We've got strong transformation energy. I feel like if I were I'm standing on the outside and I'm seeing the whole picture, and I see you're feeling less confident, but I feel like you have nothing to fear with this. I mean, it seems super obvious from where I'm standing, and it just, that's also the energy that's kind of coming off the cards, you know. However, resist the urge to try and control things or make them move too quickly. So if you have, for example, you have this soulmate reach out to you that you've been getting readings about, and it's been a long time since you've been in communication, and do not try to wrestle for control of the situation, because that's going to cause them to bail. They already have that fearful bailing sort of energy going on with them. And you also don't look like this could be so much more comfortable for you if you don't also have to be responding to that. So it's already slightly uncomfortable energy anyway. I feel like this is temporary and you'll be able to work through it. Like if we get into tomorrow, we could see it shifting into something fairly different. But there's definitely a lot here. So let's see, when we get into the extended, again, we want to look at what you can kind of expect to have happen, and what is it that's tying their hands and slowing the process down, or what's going to be slowing the process down once they stumble into your presence. So that's what we're going to take a look at. The link for that is down below in the description for the reading. If you I'm curious about what kind of questions come out of this for you, quite honestly. So if you have questions, you can put them in the comments, or you can reach out to me via email or via social media, just as always, and we'll dig into it, because, you know, I build these readings based on what it is that you want to know. So I'll see you over in the extended, or I will see you again in tomorrow's reading.